So that's the size, and each one is about like 85 cents. So let's see. First bite, pure bread. There's no. The bread is so good, like the bread on the outside. I spent 10 years in the US. Nowhere in the US you'll see bread that is made this well. Like as well as in Tashkent, you'll never see it anywhere else. You know, today I went downtown in Tashkent and there's a coffee shop. There's a big park, and then across the street from the park is a coffee shop. It's a French coffee shop called Bon. And I sat there, I did some work, and then on the way back, it was like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. So it was still sunny outside, right? And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, some things just came back. Like around a year ago, I broke up with someone, right? And you know, you think you got over it, you think the whole thing is over, you got over it, you haven't thought about them for a long time. And then suddenly, like, it's like the sun hits you at the wrong angle, or, you know, you see something that reminds you of her, or you smell something, it's like a perfume or like some smell. And once that happens, the entirety of the emotions, all of it will come back. And that's what happened to me, right? It's like you think you got over the emotions, you think they're gone, but they haven't gone anywhere, right? Like in that moment, all the feelings that you had, all the pain, all the love, all of it will come back with the same intensity. It's almost as if they were all hidden somewhere and they all came back, right? And that kind of makes you wonder, like, is it like when you get over someone, do you really get over them, or do you just put the dirt under the rug, and then if something happens and the rug switches a bit, you'll see the dirt there? What I think happens is that all the emotions go unconscious, right? All the emotions, they never die. They never die, you never get over it. It's just that they go from the realm of the conscious mind into the realm of the unconscious mind. And what happens to them at the unconscious level, I don't know. Maybe they'll get stronger even. One might even say that. And if you smell something, if, you know, like something happens, it's usually a smell or something that reminds you of her, then all those emotions with the same intensity will come back forward. They go from the realm of the unconscious into the realm of the conscious mind instantly. And that's what happened to me. I was shocked at how strong the feelings were. You know, it's been a year. You know, you'd think that a healthy human being, right? You'd think that a healthy human being would get over it, and I think I have, but then, you know, every now and then these feelings come back. And it's not just with like romantic relationships too. It's like if there is a particular smell of your childhood, for example, that you had, and that smell, let's say, reminds you of certain things from childhood, and you think you got over those things, and then you smell that thing again, or you eat something again, and those memories of childhood will come back with the same intensity. Even if only for a short moment, they'll come back with the same intensity. Right? So it seems to me that you actually never get over anything. and that all of those, your entire past is stored in the unconscious. That's the right way to put it. I personally think that I'm a deeply nostalgic person. Like, I think there's something wrong with me in a sense that I never get over anything. That's something that's been known to me since time immemorial. Every human being I've ever met, everything that ever happened to me, I kind of never get over anything. What happens is that over time, the negative feelings associated to that person or associated to that event will disappear. That event or that memory, right, like let's say that event will ferment into a sweet wine. And so only sweetness will remain, and that's why I don't hate anyone from the past. No matter how wrong they did me, I don't hate them. All that negative energy will diffuse itself in some sense, and only the positive memories will remain. Or like the entire memory will ferment into a positive memory on its own. So for a long time it's been clear to me that I can never get over anything, and that I will always fondly remember everything that happened to me with some strong sense of nostalgia. And it seems to me that anything that happens to you, your entire past, actually didn't go anywhere. It is stored in the unconscious. Your entire past is stored in the unconscious. And so if you ever want to travel to the past, all you have to do is travel back into your unconscious. This is something that I really want to clarify, right? Because think about it. Where did the idea of time travel come from? Like we humans, right? Monkeys. Which monkey one day woke up and was like, hey, I wonder if it's possible to go back in time. Like that idea itself, the idea of time travel, that idea itself came from the unconscious. And if it came from the unconscious, all ideas come from the unconscious. So this idea in particular also came from the unconscious. And so what that means is that this must be possible in the unconscious world. A lot of people understand time travel in the wrong way. Things like time travel, these things are ideas about not this physical reality, but about a different physical reality, about the reality of the unconscious. And it is not a controversial thing to say that your past is stored in the unconscious. Of course it is. Of course it is. Who you are depends on your past. Not just the past that you have lived, but the past that your father has lived, the past that your grandfather has lived, and that generation since the first human being. Like, for example, this is an idea that I got from Jung, but for example, who you are today depends to a large extent on what lineage you come from. If you have behind you 2,000 years of educated people, then there's a high chance that the way you think, the way you learn is going to be different. If you have behind you 2,000 years of people who were not educated, then the way you think will be different also. This is just, something that I think is plain and obvious. And so that past, like in the movie Avatar, you'll see like all the previous avatars will show up. All of that past is stored in the unconscious. This is why if you ever venture into the world of the unconscious, you will venture into the past. And if you venture into the personal unconscious, you will venture into your own personal history. And if you venture into the collective unconscious, which is far deeper, it's a far deeper layer of the unconscious, then you will venture into the collective history of humanity. That's what happened to Jung. Carl Jung, when he was writing the Red Book, or the Black Books, he ventured into the collective history of humanity. He was hallucinating, he was sort of daydreaming almost, and he sees all sorts of figures. He even sees Nietzsche in his hallucinations, right? Like they say he was descending into hell, but that's not right. He wasn't descending into hell, he was descending into the world of the dead. But what is the world of the dead? The world of the dead is the unconscious. Everyone who has ever died, anything that's ever lived, anything that's ever happened in this planet, in this universe, all of it is stored in the unconscious. And so the fact that that idea even exists, the idea of time travel even exists, indicates to the fact that this idea is real in the unconscious world. We just misunderstand it. We think that this idea pertains to the physical world, but that's not right. This idea is about the world of the unconscious. So time travel is certainly possible. If you want to travel down the human history, then all you have to do is venture into the unconscious. The only thing you have to be careful with, though, is that once you travel there, can you come back or no? Because people who deal with the unconscious, right, if you've ever, for example, been on the verge of psychosis, which sometimes happens, right, like the closer you get to the unconscious, the more you will lose your reasoning. Reasoning is a fundamentally conscious activity. And so if you venture into the world of the unconscious, there's a chance you may never come back from there. And this idea has been around for thousands of years. If you read mythology, for example, mythology is always a symbol for how the unconscious works. In mythology, there's a lot of ideas about, in Egypt there is this great river, and then down the river you'll go, there's all sorts of treasure, but you have to be careful, because if you touch it, you may not come back from there. Or like in mythology, you'll read that, there's this foreign castle far away, it's protected by the dragons, and inside the castle there's like this jewelry, and if you touch it, the castle will collapse and you will never come back from there. All of this is saying that water, that's the unconscious. The castle, that's the unconscious. Once you venture into the world of the unconscious, yes, there's treasure you can find there, but there is a chance you may never come back. That's the risk, right? And if you come back, you won't be the same person. So I feel like all of my memories with this one particular person last summer, they never really went anywhere. And for whatever reason, they came back today, right? As I was walking, all of them just sprang forward. And I just had to take a time out. I was I just sat on a bench thinking that, well, I thought I got over her, and then I guess not. And then really quickly, all the emotions go back again, they go away. And you sit there wondering, what the hell just happened, Yeah, well, anyway. I got these new glasses today. Now I think they fit well. Though I don't know how practical they are, but I think they fit pretty well. Yeah, well, and that's what happened today. Really a very strange experience, I would say. It's I was reading the selected letters of Nietzsche, and there he talks about this. He says the what does he say? The pleasant fragrance of the irretrievable. Right? He says, like, apparently he was also nostalgic. He says, the pleasant fragrance of the irretrievable, right? And that's what happens. Like, sometimes things that happened to you in the past, it's almost like a hand brings a red flower, and then you smell it and everything comes back to you, and then the hand immediately takes the flower away. Then you sit there wondering, like, what just happened? You know? And I don't know what exactly triggered this memory to come back, but I had to take a time out. I had to take a time out and sit down. And you know what the sad thing is? I've moved to Tashkent, right? I've moved to Uzbekistan. It's just that all of my friends, everyone that I've known ever since I was a teenager, all of them are in the US now. You know, and will I ever be able to go back? You know, will I ever be able to meet those people? Probably not, right? Because the immigration is getting more difficult. And so, part of the... And so it is kind of weird for me that, you know, I'm 26 years old. Ever since I was 17, I was in the US, and now suddenly I have to come to Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And I have to start all over again. I don't have any friends here. I don't have any... Not that I had a lot of friends in the US, but, you know, I still had some. But here, I have to start all over again, and it's just so hard. Because when you're 17, you know, you're still looking up to life. Your future is ahead of you, and so you're not afraid of starting anew. But when you're 26, it just kind of gets difficult, I think. And I think the older you get, the more difficult it gets to relocate and start anew and make new friends and all that. And it's just so hard for me, especially now, because I kind of got used to the Uzbek culture. Sorry, to the American culture and that way of thinking. And now I have to come back and get adjusted to this life again. And in Uzbekistan, people just do things differently. And people are different here, and I don't know if I'll make friends here. It just seems like in Uzbekistan, everyone's busy just about making money, and, you know, everyone's just busy doing, how do you say, like formal things. Like you have to go to work, you have to have a job, and then you have a family, formal family that you have to take care of. And it just seems like everyone's just doing their professional duties. And I don't get the feeling that a lot of people are genuinely living. I don't get that feeling. Like, I haven't met anyone here who I would say is genuinely living. It just seems like a bunch of robots who are just doing their professional duties. And I just feel suffocated, right? I mean, the whole idea of having to go to work just pisses me off so much. But besides that, it is just so suffocating to be here, because it just doesn't feel like anyone's really out here living. Everyone's worried about their career, their future, a job, you know, they're trying to learn English, get a better life. And it's nobody is living in the present here. Like, there are some, you know, idiots like me who live in the past, and then there's equally disturbed people who only live in the future. They're always thinking about the future. Or you just look around and there's no one living in the past. And I don't know how much of this I can tolerate. I don't know. It's so hard. It is so hard. Relocating and living in a new country again. And I feel like I'm slowly losing contact with all of my friends in the US. So very soon I'll probably lose all contact with them. And I don't know. Sometimes what makes me happy though, like the only thing in Tashkent that makes me happy, is I go to a coffee shop, I drink some coffee, and then I read some literature. Like I read Jung, or like I was reading Dracula today a little bit. I read some classical literature, and it feels like somebody understands you. It feels like somebody it feels like somebody has already been through those things many, many times. And they've written it in the most beautiful way possible. So like, I get some, you know, it feels nice to read these books, but outside of that, it just feels suffocating to be here. And I don't know how long I will stay here. You know, nothing against the people here. Amazing people, good food, good culture, everything's good. It's just that when you come from the US, you're just so used to that way of living and that mode of life that it is so hard to adjust. It is so hard to adjust. But you have to adjust because there is no other option. It's not like you have a choice here. But, I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. Let's get this damn glass out of my... Yeah, well, that is life. I think growing up, here's what it means to be an adult. To grow up and be an adult, it means to learn how to let go. Deep down. Because that's how I've always felt in my life. I felt like there's different stages in my life, and at any given moment, I've had to let go. Right? Like there is, you know, somebody's hand that you're holding, but this person has died out already. This person could be alive in somebody else's life. But for you, this person is dead. This person belongs in the realm of memory for you now. And it's time to bury them. So you hold their hands and you smell the fragrance of their hand for one last time, and then you let go. And very soon, this person will be nowhere to be seen. And only a memory of them will stay. Which I think is just so sad that there is people that you miss, there is people that you want to see again, and they're alive. In this world, they're alive. Somewhere in the corner of this world, they're alive. You just can never meet them ever again. You can't, like it's over. It's just so sad, I think. Because if you think about it, nothing in this world really matters, deep down. Nothing matters, like money, job, status, all these things. We are on this planet, along with other human beings, only for a short period of time. And yet, within this short period of time, so many things happen, and you miss somebody, but you cannot go back to them. And so you have to learn how to let go. This is why in religion they say that when somebody has died, you should bury them. And so my heart is like a graveyard of so many former friends and lovers and acquaintances and so on. And so many dead people also, like physically they died out. And so this ability to let go is something that you have to learn as you grow up, but it's something that I never learned. I kind of never learned how to let go. I just miss almost everyone from my past. I miss them. Like could be down to the elementary school level. Like I sometimes wonder what some of these people are up to. And I don't know why I'm like this. But that's how it is. And maybe there's nothing wrong with that. I think if you're somebody who appreciates life and who appreciates the people around you, then maybe you will miss them at some point, you know. Maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Some people will say, oh, you live in the past. I don't know if I live in the past. It's just, if you miss somebody, then you miss them. Doesn't mean that you're a bad human being or something. Like imagine if there was no one in this world. Imagine if it was just you living by yourself in this world. And then like after 10 years, you saw another human being. Wouldn't you be happy? Wouldn't you be happy that there's another human being with whom you can share your joys, you can share your sorrows, you can share everything? What is the point of accomplishing anything in this world if there's no one to share it with?